that's very unusual for a left guard to be considered the best player in the team this year. What are your reactions?
I really do appreciate it. There's a lot of good players on this team. Nick Chubb, Amari, Miles. Guys that have played really at a high level. So to just be in that group, to be in the conversation is pretty awesome. So I appreciate that. Dan did tell me the bad news that I wasn't the good guy award winner, and so I might, have to go full tilt and be the bad guy, the next couple of years while I'm here. But no, I do appreciate it, and no, it's a very cool honor, and we have a lot of really good players on this team. So just to be in the conversation is pretty sweet. But just trying to do my best out there, and help the team any way I can.
How are you grading out? I mean, is this can you say this is your individually best year or among them?
Yeah, I think it's been good. I mean, Coach Callahan is a tough grader. Regardless, he always holds us to a high standard. But I've had some really good games. There's always, as a lineman, it's such a game of imperfection because you play 70 snaps and you think you have 67 great snaps, but those 3 snaps could be the difference between having a really good game and an average game in your own mind. So there's always room for improvement, but I do feel like I've played at a high level, and I want to continue that. I think the last couple of years it's been good. Coach Callahan, Coach Stefanski have come in, playing with the guys next to you, Poe and Jed and Wyatt and Jack, and just having that having that group together has really helped as well.
What do you think your best game this year is?
Maybe the Cincinnati, the first game we played them. I feel like I played really well that game. We had the run game going, some good protections and stuff like that. It's hard off the top of my head to exactly, but that one kind of stands out. We had some really big plays.
Joe, the Browns haven't swept the Steelers in the season series in 34 years. What would it mean to do that and then simultaneously knock them out of the playoffs?
It'd be huge for us. They've been a very, very good franchise, pretty much their whole, at least my whole career, they've been very good and they've done some good things. So for us to get a second win against them, in Pittsburgh, I think would be a big thing for us. We're treating it like a very important game for us. I know they have playoff implications. They have to win and get a little bit of help. But, regardless of that, I think both teams are going to come out firing anyway. And, we know it's going to be a big challenge, but I think we're up for it. And I think, we want to, go out this year on a winning note and just, prove to ourselves that it stinks we're not in the playoffs, we're not playing for what we want, but we do have some wins, under our belt and some important games.
Can you address Chubb Thomas made one of 15 modern era finals for the Hall of Fame last night? How cool is that? And what kind of an inspiration has he been to you?
Yeah, I saw Joe Thomas made the finalists for the Hall of Fame, and I in my opinion, I think he's a lock, and I think not even biasly. Like if you just look at the other candidates, and all of them are great players, but what he did in his career, what he did for the city of Cleveland, the person he is, all that combined, I think he's a lock to me to be in the Hall of Fame, and just it was truly honestly a blessing for me to come into this league and be able to play next to him for the first 4 years.
Joel, for 3 years, under Stefanski, the identity of this offense has been offensive players and making sure as they move into the full-time Watson era, do you think that will change?
I think you're going to see different schemes, but I think the identity of the offense is still there. Like, I don't know if last week's a great example, but we ran the ball very efficiently, even though we were trying to pass the ball at certain times. We knew we could take advantage of some, deep plays in the passing game. And so I think when we get comfortable with the offense, the goal is to be able to do kind of whichever way we want if we need to spread them out and throw the ball, but that can open up the run game for us. Because I think at times we got a little bit bogged down when we were like, hey, we're going to go heavy. We're going to go 3 tight ends on the field. We're going to run the ball. And then the defense is like, all right, we'll put 9 or 10 guys in the box as well. And so it's going to give us a different variety. It might be, offensive line and running backs with Deshaun and Amari and David spread out a little bit more, So I think there's room for both, but I think we're finding that identity and trying to figure out what, complements each other best.
I don't know if you're a big believer in culture or not, but when the Steelers start out 2-6 and then go, wind up 8-8 with a chance to go to the playoffs, like, what do you think that says about their organization? The fact that Tomlin's never had a
I know there are rivals, but it is impressive. You look at it, the last 2 years really, you think teams have written them off and stuff, and they've been right there at the end trying to make the playoffs and fighting. And I do think they have a culture of, winning and doing those things over there. It's a testament to their players, to their coaching staff, and really just taking it one game at a time, like we talk about, and they've done a really good job of that. But no, it's pretty impressive when you look at the body of work.
Jim Brown's the only Brown to ever rush for 1,500 yards in a season. Chubb's 52 yards away from that. I know the rushing title might be a little bit unrealistic, but what would it mean to you guys up front to get Chubb 1,500 yards?
It's huge, anything it takes to win the game first and foremost. But if you can go past that, anything for Chubb. I mean, he's just the epitome of a teammate. He works hard. He does everything right. I love blocking for that guy. I've told it before. He's one of my favorite teammates. And if we can get him in that class with Jim Brown, arguably the GOAT running back, I think it's special. I know he was close a few years ago, but if we can get him up there, I think it's a testament to his work ethic and what he's done as a player.
What's been the biggest? What are the differences in why the Steelers are playing so much better defensively lately, and how much of that is just TJ?
Yeah, I was going to say TJ Watt's a big part of it, and the other guys, even when he was out, Cam Hayward, Highsmith, they were both playing at a high level, but then you put another guy on the right, and it's going to help. He's going to push them to him. They're going to push him to him. The way they rush the quarterback with 4 or 5 guys at a time, when they have 3 guys that are really rushing at a high level, it helps them in the back end, the front end. And I mean, you watch the game against Baltimore, they put pretty much 6 down linemen, outside linebackers on the line of scrimmage, and 2 linebackers. So they had 8 bigs. We categorize them as bigs on the field, and they dared, Baltimore to pass the ball. They're like, we're going to stop the run. So I think, and if you look at their stats, they've done an incredible job, stopping the run in the second half of the season compared to the first half. But I think TJ Watt's a big part of that.
What do you see Terrell Austin and Flores? Is it a different defense you guys are studying?
I think it's the same, traditional, their base defense is the same 3-4 defense. I think they do a little bit less with the cross dogs and some of those internal blitzes that they used to do. But the scheme's there. I'm not sure about the coverage really, and I know that's where he's Coach Austin's a specialist in the secondary and stuff. But you see the same, since I've come in the league, it's the same base defense, that they've been running, and they 2-gap it and stuff. But they have some wrinkles that they've thrown in there as well. Yeah, there's some small wrinkles. They change it up a little bit. They do things. Yeah, they move guys around a little bit. I mean, they haven't really done that 6-2 as much, and they've been putting it out there a lot more. TJ Watt and Highsmith can both, kind of roam off the ball, things like that, where you're like, all right, this is a little bit different than in the past. You hear, people talk about it and stuff, and for me, it's so cliche, but I haven't even thought about that because I'm just taking it one game, one season at a time. And, for me, I just want to do the best I can. Because once you retire and it's talking about Hall of Fame and stuff like that, I've done everything I can. So for me to stress about things like that aren't it would just waste that stress on me. Right now, I'm just worried about playing football and being the best player I can be. And whenever that happens, whenever that's talked about, there'll be time for that. But for me, I'm going to do the best I can, and we'll see what happens, when it's all over.